Code 177. The heavens decoded. The last key. Here we go, family. It's time. Let's dig in. This is going to be amazing. Okay, so the first place we're going to start is here. This is a video I uploaded from December the 28th, 2023, and it's called the Shamash Code. And we're going to begin here so that I can develop out this story, and I can explain to you how all these numbers and heavenly codes have played out, and how I've been following this for a very, very long time, family. And the Father gave me very, very specific codes to track in the heavens. This has been going on for years, but because I do gematria, it's led me to a lot of heavenly codes through the asteroid and comet breakdowns. I find all kinds of stuff. Some of it I don't I don't post because it's just a lead-in for me to go do a hunt, whether that's a code or a number. Whenever I find those things, I do some deeper research, and it leads me to more discoveries in the heavens. It's fantastic work. It's very, very deep, and it's very exciting to me. And one of the things that I discovered was a heavenly code that is playing out in the heavens, and it turned out to be much, much greater than I ever expected. And I'm going to show you how this played out and what came of my discovery. If you go back to Escape of the Bride 4, and you also, many of you maybe that are new to the channel, this video here, the purification of the Bride of Christ that I produced, has been getting a lot of attention lately, and that's going to come into play. If you haven't seen this video, it's going to be very, very important for you to be able to understand what I'm presenting. And again, I don't want to have to go back over my work, so I'm going to just connect the dots. I'm going to put all of the links in the description. And if you watch this video, then I suggest going and watching these other videos that I link, so that you can connect all of the things that I'm talking about. This gets very, very deep, and it goes into a lot of deep, deep stuff about the heavenly codes. And in order for us to understand all of this information, we need to be able to connect the dots. So this video will take you and show you the beginning of the development of this code in the heavens, but this goes back even before this. If you're not familiar and you're a new subscriber here, my old channel is called Kadash Culture. I was cut out of that channel years ago and I have not been able to access it. I believe it was an attack on my channel. I have not been able to access any of the information for years, so I began a new channel, and that's where we're doing all of our work now. But you can go back, the channel is still up. You can go reference uh, Kadesh culture, and if you begin to go through the videos in that channel, then you'll see that I've been working on this stuff for a very long time, and these codes keep repeating in the heavens. And if you've been following these things, excuse me, for a while, then you begin to see patterns, and that's what I'm going to be presenting today, is the patterns that were shown to me through this work, and it developed into my Escape of the Bride series. And the Escape of the Bride series is all about the codes of Esther, and also about the codes in the uh, Jacob story, with the 7 years for Leah and the 7 years for um, Rachel, and it's also encoded in the story of Joshua, or I'm sorry, in Joseph, and Joseph serves for the Pharaoh. He's a decoder. He's a dream interpreter. And what he did is he explained to the Pharaoh that there was going to be two sets of 7 years of storing up, and 7 years of famine and pestilence. And because of his dream interpretation, which is decoding, he became second in the land only to Pharaoh, and essentially was the ruler over the Egyptian land, and was taught the entire Egyptian hierarchy and their religious um, order, and became a priest within the Egyptian order. And that is all of these things are tied because Joseph's sons and daughters became the rulers of Egypt. And this can be found within history, and we'll be getting into that uh, if we're not out of here by April. I am going to get into some really, really deep history of all of these things that go back. These codes have been developing out for thousands and thousands of years, family. This has been playing out in the heavens for a very long time. It's given everybody throughout the ages the warning, and also what I believe is called spiritual imprinting. It's an imprintation on our psyche, and that allows us to recognize the patterns. And that's all I've done, is it's just pattern recognition. I'm not a prophet or anything like that. All this is pattern recognition, and me having the drive and the determination that comes from the Spirit to do this work. And I'm not doing it solely for myself, otherwise I wouldn't even have a channel. I was instructed once I got to a certain point of knowledge that it was my time to do this as a ministry to the body of Messiah. So if you go back and you watch this video, if you already watched it, then you're going to understand exactly where we're coming from. I also have this video. Uh, this is from Steve Fletcher, and you can go. Forgive me again, fam. We're on the slow computer. I still have not this computer is just it's wrecked, and I can't wait to get the new computer going. I still am having. It's like I'm under attack. Um, I have no way to rectify the situation with um, my recording software. For some reason, it does the captures correctly, and everything is working, but it seems to not be able to send the files correctly, and there's something going on with that. And for some reason, Stellarium just will not load on my computer. I've tried it 3 times now. I'm having. I'm not very technically minded when it comes to the computers, and so it's probably very simple things that I just don't know how to do, and so I'm going to be hunting for some help. But where I'm located, I don't have any. I don't have anybody here with me. I, I I've run into some issues with getting the help that I need to rectify these problems, and I haven't come across anybody that uses this software that can give me some help. My plan is today, after I do this production, to dig into trying to rectify all those problems, but I want to bring this forward, and I didn't want to have to wait on this production because of the problems I'm having with the new studio. So we're just going to go forward with what we have. We're going to do our best here, but this is another video. If you haven't seen this update on January 11 findings, it's a clip from Steve Fletcher. So what I want to do is I want to develop out how this went down. First, I found the 88 code, and what I found is that, let's see if it's here. It's not shown here. Let me back this up. Um, I'm sorry, fam. I'm gonna have to go find this really quick. Um, Forgive me, fam. This computer doesn't allow me to. It does not allow me to have too many things up. I had something before, but let me see here. That's not it. Actually, that was it, and I just shut it down. What happens with this computer is it won't hold my location that I have. Bear with me here. We're going to go get that video, and so I can show you what I'm about. Um, it's very important for me to develop this out. 1 second, I've got to get this pulled back up. We've got to take now. We're on this. Let's go ahead and make it bigger. And this is very important right here, family. This is our brother, Repo Man, and he is presenting, he's going back and he is showing what was found. Originally, this was found by a subscriber of Exalted Lamb 1 channel, and I believe he watched my my video breakdown of the 88 code, and he was watching, or somebody in his circle was watching my videos, and once they connected the dots to the code that I was breaking down, then they found this celestial code with January the 11th, 2024 as the centerpiece on all of these eclipses going forward and backwards in time. Now, I had made a discovery of the 88 code, and you can see here on the second line down, it says, it's really hard to see here, it's a little blurry, but we can see that the second one down, it says 89 days going forward, 89 days going backwards. So what I had been shown, and you can go back to these videos that I'm connecting, and you can see that I was presenting this information before anybody got to this point of making this discovery. And I was presenting in 2023 that there was a code in the heavens with the wedding ring eclipse of October the 14th in 2023, and it connected to the 24th day of the 9th month on the Exodus Mazzaroth calendar. And January 11th at sunset is the beginning of Hanukkah, and January 11th would be the 24th day of the 9th month on the Exodus Mazzaroth calendar. And so finding this code where it ended on 4/8 of 24 with the Great American Eclipse, family. And what I noticed is if you took the center date of January 11th and you went forward and backwards without counting the center date, and what I called that is the Shamash code. And the reason I called it that is because the menorah has a center candlestick that lights all the other candles, and that this pattern was playing out with the eclipses. And so what I found is that if you did not count the date that the wedding ring eclipse from the 10/14, forgive me, from the 10/14/23 till 1/11/24, if you did not count the center date, you have 88 days. And here again on the on the form that he is presenting, he has it 89 days inclusive. But I found if you do not count that center date, that it's an 88 code. And that is a sign of escape and rapture. It's also a sign of the door. It's a sign of escape. And so what I found is that if you went forward to April the 8th, you had another 88 days. And as soon as I presented this information, within days, I believe it was 3 or 4 days, then Aaron, with the Exalted Lamb 1, he came out. Let's go back. Forgive me, fam. This is the only way I can do this. That's Steve Fletcher. So here, on Aaron's video, he presents what his subscriber Constantine found. So it was his subscriber Constantine, or his one of one of the guys that he either knows. I don't really know this gentleman, and I don't know. Uh, I don't know his involvement with Aaron. From what I understand, it's a subscriber that helps him out with decoding. And what was found is this pattern in the heavens. And going forward and backwards in time, January 11th, 2024, which again on my calendar is the 24th day of the 9th month, family. This is the center of all eclipses going forward and backwards in time. So we have to make that establishment first. I found the 88 code. I found that it connected to my Hanukkah day. I have been tracking this calendar for 2 years now, and uh, I have all the proof. You can just go back and watch my channel from the very beginning, and you'll see I have all the proof. It's already all there. This patterning has already been laid down for us, and we can see that it got picked up by multiple channels. You can see here that as soon as Aaron dropped that video, then Ken Potter built a chart, and with that chart, then you see here in this video update on January 11 findings, you will see that Steve Fletcher then began to do his presentations of this chart, and it ended up, now we're back to Repo Man, and this just came out, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, and now he is presenting this pattern again with the upcoming March the 14th blood moon eclipse. And so what I'm going to present is what was given to me for the escape of the bride. And we have to go here. And if you have not seen this video, Purification of the Bride of Christ, you need to go watch this video. This develops out why I have what I'm about to present. So, we're going to be looking at, here we go. Let's see if I can get this bigger. this one is not the chart that I need. So let's see, it might be here. There we go, I think this is it here. Again, family, forgive me, I already had all these pulled up, but it just, it, anytime that I close it out, it immediately goes back. Okay, so what we're looking at here is this is the center line, and it shows the days, and you can see here at the bottom it says the 89 days. It goes till 4/8/24. I found this in the very beginning when I was doing my work on Hanukkah and my calendar and the establishment of the Maseroth sun, finding the dates for the ancient calculations of the calendar, and it's tied to the sun, the moon, and the stars. And so what I did is I found the way to do that calculation. And again, if you're new, you can go look at my Faithful Witness video, and that will show you how I make my calculations. And it's all based on the sun and the moon and the stars. The 364-day calendar is not a sun calendar, nor is it a moon calendar. And that's why in Jubilees it says that the moon, if you use the moon to track your calendar, then you will be 10 days off on the year. And so that's easy to prove that the moon cycle is 354 days each year, and the star calendar is 364 days. So it's not making a comparison to the sun and the moon calendars. And that's important for everybody to understand that's doing this kind of work. It's not saying a sun calendar, and it's not saying a moon calendar. It's saying that there is a star calendar that's 364 days, and it works within the sun and the moon as place markers. And the moon is the faithful witness, and every 19 years we can use the moon as a witness in what's called the Metonic cycle. And we can use that moon to go back and make an exact determination of the location and the dates that the movement of the planet as it's tilted, uh, the the way that the great year works is because the Earth is on a wobble, and you have to be able to make your adjustments because it's not set. It moves through time. And if you're not able to make that calculation, then you will mistakenly have your days off, and that's where the 19-year Metonic moon cycle comes in. You use that as a faithful witness to make your determinations, and that's why they have the Magi and the priests that did the ancient Maseroth work. They had to be out in the field at night, watching the stars, writing down all their determinations, and using the tools that they had to mark the heavens, the angles, and where everything was located. And this is an ancient work going back thousands and thousands of years, family. It's not anything new. All we're doing is now using the tools that we have with the computers and with the algorithms that we can run. We now have Stellarium and the other star softwares that allow us to make this very, very simple for us to hunt the heavens. And it, this used to be very, very dedicated work that only a few select people would even be involved in, because you essentially had to give up your entire life to learn this type of work. And again, these men who did this type of work were awake all night studying the stars. And so they wouldn't have a traditional sleep cycle, um, and they would be very, very special because they were doing things that were essentially dedicated to the people. They were the watchmen looking out into the heavens to discover the signs and the codes written in the stars. So what we're going to present now is we have a very specific code that is happening in the heavens now, and that's what we want to get to now. We're going to break down the discovery of that, and what we're going to show is this code in the heavens. We're going to come back to Esther, and we'll be talking about Esther. But what we're going to show is we have a very important sign here. Everybody will remember this. This is the Great American Eclipse, and we're looking at the Great American Eclipse here. And what we're witnessing is a sign here on 4/8/24. Everybody in America knows about this. This is the Great American Eclipse, and it's very important to understand that this eclipse is the Nineveh eclipse, family. This is after, in 2017, we had the first eclipse pattern over the United States. Everybody knows about all of this stuff. I don't have to go into details or show charts. You have the Aleph and the Tav that is spelled out across America. We had a pattern in 2017, and that was the Salem eclipse. It went over 7 Salems. And then you had in 2024 here the Nineveh eclipse, and this one went over 7 Ninevehs, and this is a warning sign. And this began a very specific code in the heavens that I have been watching for, I believe it's over 6 or 7 years. And I was shown this pattern a very long time ago when I first began my work. You can go back to the very beginning of my Kadesh Culture channel, and you'll see that I was given the Esther code. And what I found is that the patterns in the book of Esther were matching the patterns of Jacob with the week wedding, the 7 days, and the pattern of the 1 year purification of the bride in the book of Esther. Esther goes through a 1 year period where she is uh, treated for 6 months with uh, the oils of myrrh, and then she's treated with uh, sweet perfumes for 6 months. And this is detailed out for us in the book of Esther. It's a pattern. It's encoded information that is, forgive me, fam. I'm on the. I don't know how this happened. I must be on the bad microphone. My microphone is now unplugged. I'm going to plug it back in. Hopefully we have everything working and we don't have a hiccup. But I'm going to go ahead and plug in now. For whatever reason, I forgot to get this thing plugged back in after my test. And so I'm going to plug back in now. Hopefully everything works out. Okay, is better with sound. Again, forgive me, family. This has been a ride with this computer and all the problems and the testing I have to go through. I have to make multiple tests and recordings to make sure that everything's working, because I have made multiple videos, almost an hour long, and then for whatever reason the sound's not working or something's wrong, and I basically lose all of that time and energy put into production, and it goes nowhere, and I get highly frustrated. And it's been a wild ride, and I finally have a new computer. Again, I made a praise report in the community section. If you could please go there and thank Eric for the purchase of a new computer for the family. That would be greatly appreciated. I'm really close to having this all worked out, but it is taking me way more time than I expected. I was hoping to already be using the new computer. I am able to do screen captures, and I'm doing all my artwork there now, and I'm using that for a backup research uh, platform that's allowing me to have two computers operating, and I'm getting a lot more research done quicker because I can just cross-reference between the two pages instead of having to go back and forth and switch everything out. I can reference videos back to back. It's helping me a lot. So thanks again, Eric. This has been a great blessing, and we are really close to having a whole new studio set up. So we're here and we're looking at the Great American Eclipse, and this is part of a new code pattern. And what I found is that this directly aligns with the book of Esther, and that this is a sign to the bride of Christ because it's a moon sign. And so when we look at these moon codes, we look at it as a sign to the bride because the moon is a, a bride sign. When the sun and the moon come together and create an eclipse, it's showing us a wedding pattern. It's showing us that the two are becoming one, and we're getting that sign here in uh, the constellation of Pisces, and we can see that it is on the band of the eastern fish. And it's very important for us to be able to see these signs because they're developing out a story. And we're going to be breaking it all down today. This may be a little bit longer of a video. I have to get this all developed out and be able to present it to everybody with all of the details because it's important to develop this out and explain as much as I can so that everybody gets this. If you're new, this is a heavenly pattern that has been developing out for a very, very long time. I bet I can go all the way back to before the birth of Christ, and I bet you I could find this exact same pattern. And so this is a warning sign in the heavens because this starting point here is the Nineveh eclipse. It's a warning sign. Everybody who was doing the research work was saying that this was a great sign for America, and I think a lot of people have this backwards. This is not a sign of blessing. This is one of the greatest warning signs that you could get. This is similar to what happened to Nineveh, and this is associated with the sign of Jonah. This is the fish. This is the great whale right below this sign. Cetus is the great whale, and you can see Jonah as the sun or the moon or any of these figures that are in the picture in the constellation of Pisces, because Cetus is holding the bands and he is the controller of the fish. The only way that they're getting out or they're breaking free of their chains is through the codes, the heavenly codes. So we're getting a code here beginning with 4/8/2024. Let's go ahead. Hopefully I don't have any problems here. Once I get to this point, I usually have problems. So we're going to say 177 days from 4/8/24. Okay, so we can see right here 177 days from 4/8/24 is October the 2nd, 2024. So now we're going to go to October the 2nd. And now, family, what we're looking at is the next eclipse on 10/2/24. What did we have, family? We had a wedding ring eclipse. And if you remember back to 2023, let's see, I believe this was 8. Going to have to pull that up later. I don't remember exactly. I'm going to have to pull that up. It might have been 2022. I don't have that pulled up, so we'll get to that later. I may have to do this in 2 parts so that I can bring everything out, because all of this is very, very important for us to understand that there is a very important code in the heavens that is almost completed. So here we're looking at October the 2nd of 2024. We had a wedding ring eclipse, and this is happening at the Parima star, and we can see this line up here. Mercury as a messenger. It's Raphael is one of the messenger angels. You have the sun and the moon on that day creating a wedding ring eclipse at the alignment of the Parima star. Let's run this backwards, and we can run it forwards. Now let's watch the moon transition into place. Now we see that there is the eclipse, and then here on meridian you can see that the sun is now passing Parima. It is lined up. If you go across the line of the entrance of the womb of Virgo and you follow that line directly through, you'll see that the sun is now entered into what they would consider is the womb of Virgo. This is happening inside of the womb. Essentially, we have a wedding ring, so it's a birth sign and it's a marriage sign. Again, 177 days after the Nineveh eclipse. So we have 2 signs happening. We have, again, we have to think of Esther. So we have Esther going through 6 months of myrrh. And this 10-2 eclipse is the end of the 6 months of myrrh and the beginning of the 6 months of sweet perfumes. It's a dead ringer on the moon cycle, which is the bride. It's 177 days, and we see a repeating code, which is the eclipses, and it's showing us a pattern for Esther. So now what we do is, now we go here and we're going to go 177 days from 10-24, and we get March the 28th, 2025. And if we go to this here, and we look up the third line up on the right hand side, we will see a 444-day code. And again, this goes from January the 11th, 2024. So we have multiple codes in the heaven tied to what I'm showing. We have the 88 code, we have the 177 code, and we have the 444 code. And all of these are playing out because on 329, family, see it on the third line up, the 444 days. This lines up with 10/25 of 2022, and I believe we'll have to go back. It's either this 420 or it's 10/25 when we have the other wedding ring eclipse pattern. But what we're going to look at is this here. Okay, now quickly let's look here. This is Repo Man. Again, he just presented this a couple days ago, or possibly yesterday. But what it's showing us, fam, again, we've got so many windows open. It's difficult. This seems to be frozen. Forgive me, fam. If you look at this chart, because it's small, it's having... it's just not allowing me to do this. Something's wrong with the computer. It's overloaded. But if you see this chart with the 444 days, it ends on 3/29. He's pointing out the blood moon eclipse on 3/14. I am now frozen because of this. I'm going to have to stop it here and come back in another part. Forgive me, fam. This computer is just not able to handle this kind of stuff, and I really need to have this multiple fields open. So I'm sorry. We're going to come back and we're going to connect the dots. I'll put the links in the descriptions. We're going to have to come back and finish this up in a part 2. I'm having technical difficulties, and until I get the new computer going, it's gonna be like this. I have to do what I can with the tools I have. We'll be back. Much love.